Okay, Monday today. Starting a new basement bathroom remodel. Super pumped about this one. It's gonna be pretty nice, full tiled shower and custom vanity that I'm gonna be doing. So yeah, today, this morning, probably just gonna be mostly like mobilizing, getting everything on site, tools, and getting everything protected and carpet masked off in the basement and stuff. And then hopefully this afternoon we can open up some walls and start on demo. Should be an electrician on site here in the next hour or two. They're gonna start deleting and moving around some of their wiring and stuff like that. And then plumbers should be on Wednesday, and they'll start trenching out the floor, moving drains and water lines around, doing their roughing. But yeah, it should be a good week.
So the scope of work in terms of demolition for this bathroom is pretty extensive. The previous homeowner did the bathroom and didn't want to mess around with trenching out the floor for the drains. So all the drain lines are surface ran to the main stack. So seeing as we're going to be taking the bathroom right back to the studs and moving fixtures, it's just an opportunity for us to kind of do it to the best of our abilities and trench out the floor and run everything under the slab, just so that's how anyone would want it in their home. So we're gonna do it that way. So these are just some drawings I did for the project. You'll notice that there's a floor drain right at the front of the bathtub. We decided to move that to the outside of the bathroom, just on the left, which is convenient because that's exactly where the washer dryer are, and the hot water tank's not far either. So it just made sense, and aesthetically, not having the floor drain in the bathroom was perfect. You'll also notice that we decided to switch the vanity and the toilet trade spaces. The existing vanity was only 2 feet wide, and the space that the toilet was in was basically 3.5 feet. So switching those around made total sense. And then the electrical design, we're adding a bath fan and some LED puck lights and a vanity light. And here we have a 2D elevation view and 3D isometric view of the bathroom, just to give the client a really good idea of what the bathroom's going to wind up looking like at completion. And these are also all given to sub-trades prior to walking the space and quoting the project, so that they have a good understanding of what the design is, what the expectations are, all that. So as I started removing the wall paneling and the tongue and groove and exposing the framing, it was, really quickly becoming clear that most of the framing was either framed on the flat or just straight up 2x2 framing. So if it were a bedroom or something and, I was just putting drywall on the walls, that might be fine. But for what we're trying to accomplish with a tiled shower, among other things, and a custom vanity, that just wasn't going to cut it. So I made the decision with the client, we made the decision to take the space basically right back to nothing almost. You can see there's 2 walls there in the corner that were left. Pretty much everything else was taken back and starting from a blank slate, which is ideal, honestly. That allows me to, take full responsibility for the prep and the framing, make sure everything's square and straight and plumb, and just give me a really good foundation to build off of in terms of all the finishing aspects that are incorporated in a bathroom. Okay, just installing the brackets for the floating bench. Got the center of the studs marked out and just gonna drill the holes for them here. These brackets are supposed to hold like 12 or 1,300 pounds each, so pretty confident that we're not going to have any issues with tiles cracking or anything like that. Okay, so I got the brackets all mounted and everything kind of set up here. Just putting these shims on the brackets just to give the bench a bit of slope on top to shed water. Typically what you're looking for is a 1/4 inch per foot of slope to actually properly move water. So these shims are a 1/4 inch at their widest. So we'll put them at the back, and the bench is a foot deep, so it should be good. So here what's happening is basically these two walls where the vanity is going to go, they would have been way too much of an undertaking to remove. Basically those are adjoining walls to the basement, living room, and the wet bar in the basement. So those ones kind of had to stay to remain in budget. So what I'm doing is I'm kind of sistering on 2x4s on the flat, and I'm shimming them off of the existing 2x2 framing and going around with my 4-foot level, using it as a straight edge to make sure that this new wall that I'm basically creating is straight and plumb and just flat to accommodate the new custom vanity and quartz countertop that's going to be going in. So the plumbers have now gotten their rough-in mostly completed. All their drain lines have been ran under the slab, trenched out, and hooked up to the main sewer line. Here I'm just getting ready to put a coat of primer on the floor before putting the self-leveling cement down. The existing floor drain had probably about an inch of slope over a couple of feet towards it. So obviously I had to make sure that that got flattened out really well before putting down the vinyl plank.